This is TWiT.
This week, Bobby Borisov wrote about Germany mandating the Open Document Format, or ODF, as the standard for public administration documents within its new sovereign digital infrastructure framework. Now, this framework is called the Deutschland Stack and published by the Federal Ministry for Digital and State Modernization. And the framework sets technical standards for a unified, interoperable digital environment across all levels of government. So yes, I'm dragging us straight into politics with this. Now, it explicitly requires ODF and PDF/UA as document formats, excluding proprietary alternatives from official use. Mandating OTF at the federal level ensures consistent handling of documents, system compatibility, and long-term accessibility of official records across the public institutes via the open, ISO standardized file format. According to Bobby, the Deutschland Stack supports a broader strategy to build sovereign digital infrastructure using open standards, open interfaces, and reduced reliance on single vendors. It also prioritizes local data storage and open source development to limit vendor lock-in in government IT systems. Florian Effenberger, and I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, executive director of the Document Foundation, said in a press release, "This is not a recommendation or preference. It is a mandate." Germany's decision to anchor ODF at the heart of its national sovereign stack confirms what we have argued for years. Open, vendor-neutral document formats are not a niche concern for some technology specialists and FOSS advocates. They are a fundamental infrastructure for democratic, interoperable, and sovereign public administrations. Now, there's more information about the framework available in Bobby's article that I've got linked in the show notes. So I definitely recommend diving down that rabbit hole by starting with that article.
Yeah, interesting.
Oh, the sauerkraut's hitting the fan now.
Oh, it's funny. So I was a week and a half ago, I was in Germany. And it was real fascinating to hear like the differences, talk about the differences between particularly EU and the German state and like things going on in the US. I'm not going to dive into details about the stuff we talked about because again, we don't want to get into the partisan politics. But there were questions. It's like, why does Germany have a high-speed train network that works really well and the US doesn't? Like, well, there are reasons and multiple people we can blame for that, that sort of thing. It's pretty cool though to see, and this is directly the work of people like Simon Phipps and everybody else at the ODF, really going out and spreading the good word, trying to educate politicians and policymakers about what it actually means for a protocol to be open and not proprietary, not something owned by Microsoft, and so good for them.
And that really makes a lot of sense if you want something to last and be open and available for the long term, because theoretically, I mean, I don't know that the Microsoft format's going away, but, something could happen to Microsoft and they're not there anymore. And that code's locked up and eventually going to go away.
Microsoft format?
DocX.
Yeah, I mean, you've got support for that inside of LibreOffice. It's been reverse engineered, but I definitely get the point there that,
especially considering how many different formats the Word documents gone through over the years.
Yep,
there's always comply.
Yeah. There's a few of those formats that are actually really difficult to get data out of. Was it .wps, the old Microsoft Works that I
Works documents?
Yes, I remember we had a copy of Microsoft Works that we used on a computer years ago, and trying to get that data back, get it to open in anything was a huge pain. I think LibreOffice will do it, but Microsoft Office wouldn't for the longest time.
Or open a so-called text file from 40 years ago.
40 years ago, you're probably okay. But Microsoft did have that rich text format, RTF, that was pretty wonky.
Yeah, but what character definition were you using?
ASCII. Everything was ASCII before.
And if you've dropped ASCII out of your options,
I don't think that's ever going to happen. ASCII is too baked into C and C++. ASCII forever.
Even though, like you said, the docx, the formats, all those, and the various versions of them over the years have been reverse engineered. They have been today, but that doesn't mean the next one's going to be as easy or the one after that. And even then, they're often not a perfect representation of being on the Word format. I think they've gotten pretty good these days, but that doesn't mean that the next 2026, 2028 version is going to have something that's going to be harder to reverse engineer. And
yeah, absolutely.
Does anything support any of the Lotus document formats?
I think LibreOffice will open them, but yeah, it's another example of something pretty obscure that maybe you can't open. All right, let's WordStar. Yeah, you've got WordStar. You've also got like ClarisWorks. I've got a customer that's still got some ClarisWorks documents hanging around. I don't know if anything can open that other than an ancient install of Claris. Fun old stuff. If you enjoyed this clip, be sure to check out the Untitled Linux Show. You can find us in your favorite podcasting app or subscribe to our YouTube channel down in the links below. See you there.